working theory on storytelling and why we enjoy stories is because primarily we're dumb and we can't remember things.
I don't think that's quite right. Hi, I'm a badly drawn stick figure, and I review entertainment that is as poorly made. Today's punching bag is Disney Pixar's Lightyear. Now, I'll be honest, when this movie was first announced, I was optimistic that it could be something. But those delusions vanished quite quickly after the media circus happened. Trust me, I'm going to talk about the elephant in the room at some point. Yes, we can't have a fun movie without the current year shoving itself in our faces, can we? So, I waited for the reviews for this film to come in. It was bad, not many liked it. I myself was kind of on the please fail train before the movie even came out, so maybe I'm biased. But I wanted to give it a chance. So I went over to my local movie theater and watched it with my mom. Except I just lied. We didn't watch Lightyear in theaters. No one did. The movie bombed. That's what you get for releasing this thing right next to Top Gun Maverick, among a variety of other factors. I just watched it after the fact the day it dropped on Disney+, which is presumably the only way anyone has ever actually watched this film. It's probably the only way you have ever watched this film. In fact, I refuse to believe anyone actually watched this in theaters. I have a family friend, former babysitter, who went to see this film with her husband, and this alleged event has made me come to the conclusion that they must not actually exist. I kid. That was a joke. Those are the jokes you're gonna get on this channel. Also, that said babysitter is probably watching this video, so hi. So, yep, it was bad. Like, oh my goodness. It was so awful. It's just bad. It was really bad. Like, I don't even know where to begin here. Like, ugh. The movie impressed me by just how boring, bland, nonsensical, contrived, poorly edited, badly written, dishonest, and just how much of a wasted opportunity it ended up being. I would rather watch Cars 2 10 times in a row than have to sit through this film ever again after this video is done. That is barely an exaggeration. This movie is an embarrassment in all senses of the term. But failure, the greatest teacher is.
You know, I'm something of a
writer
myself.
And I'd like to know how not to make an animated movie / show with quality on par to freaking Lightyear. This is a soon-to-be full autopsy report. That'll be something along the lines of Mahler's Unbridled Rage series. Just with less of the rage, and it'll be more family-friendly. I have been in love with this style of video essay content for a while, and I wanted to take a stab at it myself. I also made this because I convinced my mom to let me use writing the script for this video as credit for my homeschool curriculum, because I am cynical. So hopefully this final product will be good. Fingers crossed. Though the editing is like my first piece of work ever, so it's gonna be sloppy. I'm sorry. I will go frame by frame, shot by shot, and scene by scene to point out everything wrong with, well, everything, unfortunately, in order to fully illustrate just how bad this film is. You are truly in for a wild ride, mainly because I spend the next 40 to 50 minutes just explaining everything wrong with the first 10 minutes of the film. That's how wild this ride is gonna be. And it goes without saying that you should not harass any of the people who made this movie, all right? They are human beings who just made a questionable piece of art. That does not mean you should, again, let's just all be nice to each other here. Remember that all the things I'm saying in this video about me being the angry, funny stick man complaining about a movie is like, it's for comedic. This is comedy. I don't actually have any animus towards any of these people. I feel like someone's gonna misconstrue me, and so I'm just saying this out in front. I do not actually think that Angus MacLane is a bad person. I just think he made a bunch of questionable decisions when making this movie, and that goes for everyone else. They just made poor decisions in making a piece of art, not the end of the world. And if you don't like this kind of comprehensive multi-hour analysis, or you're the kind of complain about nitpicks, you can just watch something else. That's fine. But odds are you clicked on this video because you wanted to see someone rip this film to shreds. And I will, starting now. Spoilers for Lightyear, obviously. So, we start with the iconic Disney castle and the Pixar lamp that's on its serial killing spree. And then we get an opening crawl, which has been used since the dawn of cinema. George Lucas used it in his little 1977 indie film you may not have heard of, Star Wars. Yeah. In Star Wars' opening crawl, we learn there are civil wars. We're in space. Rebel spies have stolen plans for a Death Star, a weapon capable of mass destruction, and that the plans are currently being transported by a Princess Leia on board a spaceship heading toward her own planet. We then immediately jump to the Tantive V4, however it's pronounced, being pursued by an Imperial Star Destroyer. The opening crawl is an exposition dump before the story. This is the world, this is what's going on, go. It tells you enough to know what is going on, but withholds information the audience is better off figuring out on their own. Lightyear wastes its opening crawl telling us, in 1995, a boy named Andy got a Buzz Lightyear toy for his birthday. It was from his favorite movie. This is that movie. Now, this might not sound bad, but trust me, this is extremely important. But for now, let's just put a pin in it. Then, we get an establishing shot of space with text that reads, Uncharted Space, 4.2 million light years from Earth. And my first question is, if this is uncharted space, how do they know the exact distance away from Earth they are? Yes, I know, uncharted space is a line from Toy Story, but that doesn't make it better. Hi, Editor Idif here. When I was editing this video, I noticed a giant plot hole that is caused by this one line of text. And it is so egregious, I'd feel amiss if I did not dissect it here. Do you know how long the distance of 4.2 million light years is? It's absurdly long, so long that light, the fastest thing in the universe, would take 4.2 million years to go that far. It is a distance so vast that the human mind cannot begin to comprehend it. So the ship Buzz and Co. are on presumably came from Earth, seeing as that's the point of reference we're given here. Though, I'm not entirely sure that's where they came from. As I will go on to cover in this series, the movie does a bad job of explaining literally everything about its own premise. So let's just assume they came from Earth and traveled this distance. Now, how fast were they going? Well, they are using hyperspeed. And later in the movie, Buzz refers to 100% hyperspeed as equivalent to 1c, a real-world measurement for the speed of light. 1c, 1 times the speed of light, which means that to get from Earth to here would take them approximately, 4.2 million years. Now yes, later in this movie we establish that time dilation is a thing, so I can buy that Buzz and Co. haven't turned into decayed skeletons. But my main sticking point is that if the Turnup was sent on a mission to do something, trust me, we'll get there, then that means Star Command sent them from a ship on Earth to go into uncharted space a distance of 4.2 million light years away, or perhaps a distance even further than that, to do a mission, even though it would take everyone 4.2 million years to get there. In that span of time, untold thousands upon thousands of civilizations would have risen and fallen. What kind of mission is this? And later I will complain about how I don't know what the mission they ramble about is, or what is even going on most of the time. And this revelation of a plot hole only makes all of that so much worse. Now, let's do some math. Later in the film, spoilers, but you already knew that, Buzz goes on multiple hyperspeed test flights that all last 4 minutes, approximately, but cause 4 years to pass on the planet when he comes back. Now let's just assume for the sake of argument that time flows into Connie Prime at the same rate that Earth does, and that the 4 minutes and 4 years are exact measurements. So if you travel at hyperspeed for 4 years, from your perspective, only 4 minutes have passed. So that's like a conversion rate of 1 minute to 1 year. So if you travel for 4.2 million years, how much time passes for you inside? Well, approximately 8 years. And I'll even show you my work for anyone smarter in the comments to correct me if I botched something. So that means that while the ship has been traveling, everyone has been in their cryopods for 8 relative years, which seems like a ridiculously long time, albeit less ridiculous than 4.2 million. Later, I will make constant jokes about Buzz being brain dead, and I think my current headcanon is that Buzz being inside the pod for this long messed with his brain. It's the only logical explanation. But wait! After the first act, Buzz's successful hyperlaunch lasts the same 4 minutes but makes him travel 22 years, 19 weeks, and 4 days instead. For reasons. Trust me, we'll get there. So how does that convert? Well, if this is the actual equation, that means they've been traveling for almost a year and a half, which does admittedly work out slightly better. But still nothing is ever explained in the fact that everyone and everything anyone on the ship has ever loved or cared about back on Earth is 1000% dead, is never acknowledged by anyone, much less the film itself. And I will complain later when we find out everyone on the ship was in the dark about time dilation. Somehow? Anyway, back to Past Me. Take it away! Then more text. Star Command, SC-01 Exploration Vessel. Crew, 1,200. We then see the ship in hyperspeed while on autopilot, thus establishing it is a thing that can work. I sure hope this one detail doesn't end up breaking the entire movie. That'd be embarrassing. Then the onboard computer detects an uncharted planet and automatically releases Buzz Lightyear. Initiates wake. Why would you write it like that? Anyway, the ship wakes Buzz up from his stasis pod, and he immediately goes to the pilot's cabin and snaps his own neck, thus ending the movie. If only. The computer asks Buzz whether the ship should divert course and lights up giant buttons with yes and no written on them. What is this, a Stanley parable? Now, I know we are only 1 minute and 40 seconds in, but I need to point something out. If you are diverting course, there has to be a course to divert from. So where was the ship headed toward? I know that sounds like a silly question, but trust me, I'll get to it. The ship exits hyperspeed, and Buzz says the stardate is 3901. I don't know about you, but I don't think 4 digits are enough to constitute a precise dating system. So Buzz says that they've detected potential alien life forms on a nearby planet, so they're making a detour to investigate. Is this protocol? So he lands the entire colony onto the planet. I'm sorry, do you not have recon shuttles? If it is protocol to drop what you're doing, exit hyperspace, and investigate planets with potential life forms, then why, oh why, do you not have recon shuttles? Does Star Command expect you to just land the entire ship onto a planet with, let's be frank, a high likelihood of hostile life forms? What if something bad happens? Nah, it'll be fine. Buzz says the Space Rangers will make the initial evaluation of the planet in order to see if it's worth the hassle to wake the science crew. But what if you and your team die? Then will everyone be in hypersleep forever? It sounds like the people making protocol haven't even accounted for the most basic of contingencies. And why are you even doing this? You diverted course to this planet. Surely you were on some important mission to get somewhere else. Do you really have the luxury to go on some random side quest? Oh, look. Buzz's face is in the reflection inside his helmet. Anyway, Buzz jumps down from a ledge and lands into the ground.
Terrain seems a bit unstable.
So the animation team did a great job illustrating that, even though the ground in every succeeding shot is fine.
No readout yet if the air is breathable.
Wait,
There
stop!
seems to be no sign of intelligent life.
Stop! Why are we aping lines straight from Toy Story? Not all the ground is unstable. And the reason Toy Story as to why the instruments couldn't give him a readout on the air is because those instruments were a sticker. The real Buzz's readout should be able to tell him fairly quickly if the air is safe. Because it is, as we later find out. So the insertion of these lines is certainly something. And then this jerk interrupts Buzz and accuses him of narrating. But Buzz corrects her. But Buzz corrects her and states that it's a mission log. She then proceeds to say that no one listens to those. A statement to which Buzz immediately agrees. What do you mean, no one listens to those? Of course people listen to those. Shouldn't there be people whose sole job is to go over them all to check to see if everything is kosher? In fact, shouldn't it be protocol for all commanding officers to make hourly logs so those back at command don't miss any information that could be useful? And to also make it harder to deceive them if, say, someone goes rogue? Am I just supposed to take this assertion at face value? Buzz then responds by saying,
I know that. Narrating helps me focus.
but he literally just said he wasn't narrating 3 seconds ago. Did you think I wouldn't notice? This lass's name is Commander Alicia Hawthorne. She's Buzz's commanding officer, best friend, partner, and... Look, the movie isn't all that specific. We also established this banter about whether or not to call the ship a turnip, and that Buzz attended the design interview. And oh no! Vines are slowly wrapping themselves around the ship's landing gear. If literally anything could wrap itself around the landing skids, I'd call that a serious design flaw. Like, you don't have force fields that protect each individual landing gear. You know, in case a giant construct wraps itself around it and holds it down. Or someone starts shooting at it, causing it to tip over. Or a myriad of other things. Anyway, the vines grab onto one of the skids and pull it down so hard it causes a seismic event that creates a crack that heads straight towards our protagonists. Buzz and Alicia proceed to talk about how long he's been... Wait, stop. There was just a giant earthquake that caused a rift heading for your direction. How did you not notice? How did you not realize the ground was quaking underneath your feet? Or the booming loud noise? And are you also telling me there is no system in place to notify any and all personnel when something happens to their own ship? So Buzz goes on this rant about autopilots, saying they don't help, they just overcomplicate things. He just hates autopilots with a burning passion, which is the running gag of sorts in this film. Even though, just a few minutes ago, he was perfectly fine with going into a cryopod while an autopilot guided his ship through hyperspace. Okay. Then the rookie jump scares us.
Hello?
I'm sorry. How did he get there? You are either telling me A, this rookie has teleportation powers, B, he woke up, suited up, and ran ahead of them without Buzz noticing, and waited there to make a dramatic entrance, or C, he was so quiet and unnoticeable that Buzz and the camera didn't see him, all of which are mind-bogglingly stupid. I mean, you'd think the captain of a ship would have a better handle of who was and wasn't still on the ship. Not to mention that a space ranger should have better spatial awareness.
He's gonna have sad eyes.
Buzz?
You know I can't deal with sad
Look
eyes.
at the rookie, Buzz.
Nope.
Look at the Look.
No.
Lightyear.
Nope.
Look at him.
Not looking.
Look.
Nope.
Look.
No,
look,
no,
look,
no,
look
no,
at
no.
the rookie.
Anyway, this rookie's name is Featheringham. Featheringham. Now, take a note. Are you seeing this? How You know what? I'm just going to call him Mr. Feathers to save us time. Now, do you see how Mr. Feathers is noticeably shorter than Buzz? I positively can't wait to show you guys how, yes, this breaks continuity. So just remember this for later, please.
Look, rookie. First, you will not speak unless spoken to.
Yes, sir.
Still talking.
What? But he responded to you. He didn't contradict your command. Are you brain dead, Buzz?
You and you alone will do one thing above all. Finish the mission, no matter the cost.
Doesn't that sound a little sociopathic? Trust me, we'll get there.
Hey, will you please turn that off?
Why does the blue suit button activate a music player?
You're mocking me, aren't you?
Why do you feel the need to reference everything?
You wanted to include some familiar language like "you're mocking me, aren't you?" or the Buzz Lightyear mission log, but you didn't want to. I felt like I didn't want to stop the movie cold and remind the audience of Toy Story too much, because when movies are too self-referential, it takes you out of the film.
So, that was the director's commentary, featuring Angus MacLean, the director, Jeremy Lasky, director of photography, and Jason Headley, the writer. We'll be hearing a lot from them today as they will try to justify the mess they've made. Also, good job, because you failed spectacularly at not being too self-referential. Back to the movie.
You're mocking me, aren't you?
Yeah, but in a supportive way.
Am I supposed to like this person? If so, you're doing a terrible job. So, a vine starts wrapping itself around Mr. Feathers' legs, and it drags him underground. So, he's definitely dead. And Buzz doesn't notice, even though he takes a quick look in his direction. I guess Buzz really is brain dead. So, Buzz tells Alicia his reasoning for not liking rookies.
Or is that you and I have this job down? At any moment, I know what you're thinking, I know what you're gonna be. But this guy, I don't know.
And you know what? This is a completely satisfactory explanation. I sure hope the rest of this movie does not forget this is his motivation for not liking rookies, because that would be embarrassing. It is only now that Buzz realizes that Mr. Feathers is gone, because... So, the vines start attacking them now, and not, when they were cutting the vines before the rookie popped into existence. They just start now for reasons. So, these vines are strong enough to knock him back that far, huh?
Bugs!
No! Wait, how did you see those? The ones you're pointing at only walk into view a second later. So now the hex bugs start attacking them for reasons.
The ship, it's sinking!
Oh, so now you notice! It's been 2 minutes since the vines caused an earthquake with it, one that should have fractured the ground under your very feet. And you're telling me the ship has been in their full view this entire time, and they have just noticed it now. Buzz then shoots 3 shots and runs out of ammo. What? And he looks surprised? What? So to escape, they use their suit's stealth mode capability. Wait. You're already at 10% power? How? Did you forget to charge your suits? So, the cloak lasts around 10 seconds. Now please keep this in mind. Alicia also takes 3 shots. Oh boy. Isn't it nice of the hex bugs to fly directly in range of their melee weapons? They make it back to the elevator. Oh no. The panel shorted out. How inconvenient.
Where is the... Rookie.
First, why is it now that you're concerned about him? Second, how did he get there? Last time we saw him, he was a mile or 2 away, being pulled directly into the ground. How is he not dead? Maybe that teleportation theory does hold some water. And why is he screaming for help? The vines are nowhere near him. He's crawling for no reason. You're free. I have no idea how, but you're free. There are these things called feet, which humans can use to vines got him. Yes, Buzz. I'm annoyed as you are.
Sentient foliage have apprehended Cadet farther...
Buzz, you do realize that if you cut that vine, the hex bug will immediately rocket off with Mr. Feathers, as the vine is the only thing holding it back, right? So Alicia shoots the bug and kills it and the vine in 1 shot. That's nice, I guess. But the question I have is, why did Buzz's gun only have 3 shots when Alicia's had 4? In fact, why did their guns have such a limited shot capacity to begin with? Wouldn't such a design be practically useless? Wilhelm. Alicia, why are you standing there? Either help Buzz or get back on the ship. You do not have time. Wait. Does Alicia have teleportation powers too? Who is in charge of continuity? You know what? Let's rewind, shall we? Alicia is at the elevator control panel, hand on the lever, and uses her free hand to snipe the hex bug. Okay, got it. She then abandons the controls and runs toward where Buzz and Mr. Feathers landed. Good. She chucks her electric saw at Buzz for him to use, and proceeds to stand there and do nothing. We then get another shot of her in the same location, having not moved an inch. Where is your urgency? She then decides to run back to the elevator. Then 2 shots later, she's disappeared. And in the next shot, she's already back in the elevator, both her hands on the controls, as if she never left to throw Buzz the blade. By the way, the amount of time between when she starts running and when she's gotten back to the panel, less than 3 seconds. There is no way she could travel that distance and get into position in 3 seconds. Especially when that opening we see is so small already. So Buzz carries Mr. Feathers over his shoulders. I guess he's injured?
Hurry!
And you're dead. There is no way you can... Of course they made it. Sure. Why not? So Alicia goes to the engine room and Buzz breaks off to pilot the ship. And I guess Mr. Feathers is fine. Then why was Buzz carrying him? Was he just too slow for Buzz's liking? We then get our bi-minutely reminder that Buzz loves autopilots so much. Just ignore he was fine with having it pilot the ship through hyperspace while he was sleeping. He then also refuses Mr. Feathers' offer to help. I mean, can you blame him? From everything Buzz and the audience has been told about him, he has the capability on par with the comic relief sidekick. So Buzz launches the ship at an angle and... You know what? I'll let the scene speak for itself.
Warning, launch trajectory unsound. Collision imminent.
Captain Lightyear, do you need my help?
Negative.
Are you sure?
I'm Buzz Lightyear. I'm always sure.
And you are dead. Again. Opening titles. So, where to begin? First, a small detail. Why don't the cryopods have a better method of securing their users? You know, so they don't get jostled around during takeoff and landing. Second, when the ship starts taking off at an angle, it should be immediately obvious that he won't be able to make it past that cliff. So, I've got a suggestion. Why don't you turn left? There's plenty of room there. You don't have to head straight for that cliff. You know that, right, Buzz? Third, Mr. Feathers was on the floor underneath the door to the cabin before the ship takes off. We do see him begin to climb up the ladder, but it is doubtful he could have gotten far, given the quakes of both the sinking and the taking off. And we don't see him for the next 16 interior shots of the cabin. Yes, I counted.
Warning, launch trajectory unsound.
Come on!
Collision imminent. Abort. Abort. Abort.
Captain Lightyear, do you need
Then
my
he
help?
suddenly appears dangling on the co-pilot's chair during the takeoff. Do I even need to explain why this is stupid? First, how did he teleport again? Second, why did this man think it was a good idea to climb up a ladder and grab onto a chair while inside a spaceship in the middle of takeoff? Is he supposed to be this stupid? Thanks for giving Buzz yet another genuine reason for not liking rookies when the entire point of this movie is extensively that this way of thinking is wrong. Way to undercut yourself. Also, the pilot's cabin is at the very tippy top of the ship, and it crashes into the ground face first. Buzz should definitely be dead. Mr. Feathers doubly so, given that he was loosely dangling from his seat. Remember to wear your seatbelts, kids. So the question is now, not if there are casualties, but how... Oh. Everyone's fine, I guess. Not even a single injury? Boy, isn't that lucky! Oh, look! They aren't wearing helmets or suits. I guess the air is safe for humans. What are the odds of that happening? I'm no scientist, but I'd say it is slim. Wait. Is that the engine room? Why is it anywhere near the ship's outer hull? We see Buzz looking through a hole in the hull. Say that 5 times fast. But then, in the next shot, we see that the engine room is a hallway away? Why wouldn't you place the engine in the center of the ship? I mean, this thing is massive. You could put the engine room anywhere. Why would you put it anywhere near the ship's outer hull? What if you hit a rock that punctures the hole right where the engine room was, and it destroyed the engine, causing it to blow? But that never No, you... Oh, wait. The movie did establish earlier that Buzz was at the design meeting for this thing, and we have also established that Buzz is himself a brain-dead idiot, so maybe all of this does make sense. So, the hyperspeed crystal was destroyed in the wreck, and Alicia says they are marooned here. Wait, Alicia was in that room. If the rock punctured the hole and sliced right into the engine and blew it up, and Alicia was in there while it happened, how is she not dead? How do you survive that scot-free? On another note, did you not bring spares? You'd think bringing extra fuel on a ridiculously long-distance trip would be the highest priority when traveling across solar systems. Especially when said fuel source is so compact. And if Star Command mandates they drop what they're doing and investigate all signs of life, you'd definitely bring extra fuel. After you did every single mistake I've pointed out, maybe you deserve to be shipwrecked here. So, what will Buzz do to fix this? Surely this is what the rest of this movie is about.
I don't know.
I'm court-martialing myself.
Oh. I guess he's just gonna give up then. Okay. Buzz also rips off his nameplate, which is velcroed on, and hands it to Alicia. You know, when I watched Toy Story, I was under the impression that the names were engraved or printed on. But I guess all this time, it was an easily peeled off felt sticker.
Finish the mission, Buzz. That's what we do.
Oh, really? Remember near the beginning when I mentioned in order for Buzz to divert course, there has to be a course to divert from? Yes, they were on an important mission to do what exactly? You know what? I'll just play my hand now. Everyone, but mostly just Buzz, will go on and on about how they need to finish the mission. But the movie never bothers to explain what that mission was. You'd think that them being vague about it in the beginning of the movie would be setting up for a reveal of its true nature later on. But no, that would make sense. And as we've established, making sense is not this movie's strong suit. Now, presumably this mission is important. Urgent even. It needs to be finished. But it was also not too important as they made the detour to this dump, and the mission remains completely unresolved by the end. Yes, head scratching, I know. From the way everyone speaks about it, you'd think people were dying or something. Buzz refuses every suggestion Alicia has to fix the situation because... I don't know. But out of all of her suggestions, not a single one involves calling for help. So, it is protocol to drop what you're doing and land your entire ship on a planet when computers detect signs of alien life. But there are literally no systems or protocols in place in case you get shipwrecked. No SOS of any sort, no communications line, no backup vessels, no extra fuel. You know, if I were sending an entire colony's worth of personnel to do an important mission, traveling through uncharted space, I'd create hundreds of contingencies. I'd have a bunch of ships following as backup. I'd have them making communications checkpoints every so often so they wouldn't ever get too far out of communications range. And I'd tell everyone not to do anything stupid. You know, like landing the entire main ship onto a planet with potentially hostile life forms.
We're not done until everyone gets home.
But we have no fuel crystal.
So we mine the resources on this planet, create a new crystal.
Crystallic fusion is highly unstable.
Then we test it.
No, it's too dangerous. Manufacturing a crystal capable of hyperspeed is like trying to lasso the sun.
I sure hope they stay consistent with what he just said. Or else that would make Buzz look really stupid.
And then someone would need to attach that sun to a ship. And then that ship needs someone to fly it without blowing themselves into oblivion. Oh, in their right mind.
Did I just... I guess the writers are just allergic to good dialogue or something. Who wrote this? Well... those were the longest first 10 minutes of anything I've watched. But we did it. We escaped the prologue. So, to review, the plot makes no sense and the characters make constant rookie mistakes in order to facilitate it, along with characters who repeatedly teleport in between shots like clockwork. Also a bunch of stupid stuff. These opening minutes are seemingly the work of complete amateurs. Like, extreme amateurs. It's odd. Not very up to the usual Pixar quality. But hey, it'll get better. Right? Right?
I think for a while we did not have Buzz start as a Space Ranger, and that was a problem for a variety of reasons. But by starting him as a Space Ranger, it allowed us to apply a history that we didn't have to go into, that opened up the story.
There were all kinds of changes happening all at once, and I remember there was a screening. Bob Iger said, "Can you just start in the suit?" And we were like, why don't we just do that? Suddenly it's like, well, yeah, we know he's going to be a Space Ranger, so it's not fun to watch someone, like, why not start in there and have him take it away?
And then a lot of it was like, what would be cool? Like, what do those buttons do on his chest? Oh, why don't we have it be a cool stealth mode? That'll be great. And I remember Andrew Stanton, who was the executive producer in the film, like his attitude is he wants to, as a director, he wants to be as wrong as quickly as you can, because you're going to need more time at the very end to solve some problem you haven't anticipated. And so that ability to try to be as wrong as fast as you can is a real challenge. Luckily, we were wrong at all times, quickly, even the beginning of the production, the middle of the production, and the end of the production.